If you're like me, you have a lot of furniture that is built well and has sentimental value, but it isn't looking quite as good as it used to. Well, instead of spending lots of money on new furniture, why not bring your old furniture back to life by refinishing? Ken Reining has a technique that takes the fear out of refinishing. Hi, Ken. How are you?
How are you doing?
Good.
What we did is we came out with a patented system where we not only have the paint remover, but we have a cloth that you put over it.
Okay.
When you're using any kind of old stripper, you would put it on, it bubbles up, you scrape it off. You put it on, it bubbles, and you keep going and going until you're done. Now, what if I tell you, you put some safe paste on, put the cloth over it, and walk away. Come back tomorrow and take your paint off. No one believes you. So we go out and we show people exactly what we're doing.
So it's not going to get drippy and runny
It's
and
paste,
make
if
a
you
mess,
take a look,
and I can leave it
like
overnight.
like a cold cream consistency.
Okay.
So I don't have a problem with all the dripping and all the mess that I would have in the past. When I put it on, it stays where I'm going to put it.
Okay, so now is this just for, like, furniture and residential stuff?
No. We do a little bit of everything. I brought furniture because that's a real problem with the homeowner.
Right.
But we do all kinds of stuff. Sure. We do all kinds of stuff. This is an old Victorian home.
Oh, wow.
Where they were wanted to get all the paint off again. You've got 100, 200, 300 years worth of paint on there.
Well, and all the grooves and I mean, this would take you so much
How
time.
would you do that? You'd either be heat gunning or sanding or scraping, or with the methylene chloride again, you'd be putting it on, taking it off way too many times.
Mm-hmm.
Here it is, wrapped with that paper again.
Oh, okay. So now
You see that paper everywhere.
They've covered it everything. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And you leave it work.
On a house and on a project this big, I mean, they're not instantly going to be taking it right off. It's going to take them a while to take all this off. Is it going to be okay?
You've got a polylaminate. If it started raining on this house, the rain won't penetrate through that poly, and it'll stay wet and keep cutting in the rain. When you're ready to take it off, the bulk of your paste and paint all come off onto the cloth.
Oh, okay.
And you can see here.
So your mess is coming off onto the paper. The paint is actually adhering to the paper,
right.
And so no scraping after this is done.
Very little, very little. And then here's the finished project.
Oh, wow. Look at that. I'm just going to pull that back. So this was the home with all the detailed painting, and then now here it is stripped away. Okay.
So we've cut. What's the biggest problem when you're doing the outside of a house, or say you bought a house, is the brick. Everybody paints the brick fireplace. Everybody has painted brick.
I'm guilty of that, yeah, the white brick fireplace.
The next people move in. I want the brick. Now we can take it off. And here's some old brick pieces here. And you can see all of the detail. Let me show you how this works.
Oh, kitchen cabinets.
Everybody's got them, and no one likes the color.
Well, no, and nobody likes to refinish them either.
Of course not. Here, this is gold. Does everyone like gold? No, not everybody. So we will put the paste on.
Now, we don't need to wear a respirator with this?
No.
Okay.
This has EPA approval, has OSHA approval. This even has Department of Agricultural approval. This product is used where human consumption is.
Okay, now, 2 questions here. A, do we need to be wearing gloves?
This is a very safe product.
Okay.
I'm going to say that, and then I'm going to tell you that safe is a 4-letter word. I know folks that are allergic to cold cream. And so, yes, I would always suggest long sleeves. I would suggest gloves anytime you use
do whatever you
and I'm going to do that.
Okay. Okay, so safety glasses, gloves, if you need to do that, feel free.
Yes.
And it's a good idea to be cautious.
You always want to be cautious. If you notice, I did not take the hardware off of this piece.
That was my next question, was you did not remove the hardware off of this.
Don't need to. When you're done, you just put your cloth on.
Okay, so you cut out a little hole for the
hardware. I cut out a little hole for it. Now what am I going to do?
Now you don't have to press this down, burnish this down, or anything?
No, I really don't.
Okay.
As you saw in all those details there, when the painter came in and painted, he probably had a full brush of paint and got into those details because they're hard to paint, and then came off on the flats with a drier brush. So there's probably less paint there. So what I want to do is just get the stuff on there, put the cloth on, and leave it. The least amount of work, the better.
Right.
We want the paste to do the work. I don't want to have to do the work.
Right.
Take a look, and there's almost no detail at all here.
Oh,
you just got a bunch of paint.
all hidden underneath. Okay.
All hidden underneath. I put the paste on.
Let it set overnight.
Let it set. Break it loose. And you can see the bulk of the paste in the paint. Again, I'm easing it off. I'm not really scraping.
Oh, my gosh.
And the bulk of your paste and paint is sitting right here.
That's unreal.
Okay. Look at all the detail that was in there. We didn't even know about it.
Ah, it's like finding a treasure.
Well, it is. How many times, and I was in the studio twice yesterday, 2 different people came up to me. Everybody has something at home to
Everybody
clean.
does. Nobody wants to
Everybody
do
does.
it.
Because
Now,
it's work.
are you going to use that on the spindles of this?
I sure am.
So it gets right into all of that detail and everything.
Let's break this loose.
It's like a magnet.
Well, it's an old poultice system. We have different products, but the whole principle behind Peel Away is a poultice.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
Turn the paint back into a liquid and absorbs into the paste like an old sponge, like an old poultice.
Wow.
Now, you tell me, how easy is that versus most paint removal systems that you've tried in the past?
That is unreal. My husband's going to be busy. I've got a banister project for him.
Fellas, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get you in trouble.
No, he'll love it, though, because it's so much easier. He's been just telling me, just repaint it, just repaint
Well,
it.
and that's what most people do. Look at the beauty of this wood.
Wow. That is great.
And what harsh tools am I using to take the paint off with?
Nothing. That is really remarkable. Now, Ken, you brought along a piece of old baby furniture.
How
and
many people have baby furniture in their attic?
Tons of people, but you know what? It's also at every single garage sale you go to.
Sure
And
it
people
is.
don't want to buy it because there's all the safety of lead paint, and
Yeah.
you don't, sometimes you
That's
don't
a
want
real-
it because another kid's been in it, and
That's right.
especially if you're a first-time parent,
That's
you're all
right.
paranoid about those things.
Well, and lead is
So-
a very big issue because
Right.
most people, when they're taking off paint, they've tried all the solvents, they've tried all the liquids, they're all hazardous, they're gagging, they're worrying about all of this, so they'll sand it. The worst thing
Things
you
to
could
do
do
because
for
you're
lead
bringing
is
it
to
up in the
dust.
air. Right.
So, probably the worst thing you could have for lead would be sanding it. Let's keep it in a damp state. Let's say this is 100 years old. Let's say it's 30, 40 years old. However old it is, however many coats of paint you have on here, we're keeping all the dust in a damp state. So we're not creating anything in the atmosphere.
All right.
We're possibly taking off lead here with no respirators.
Okay, let's take this piece off back here that's got some texture to it. Oh, wow.
Now, this had probably an oil-based primer and some varnish underneath it. But there's your paint, the bulk of your paint.
It's neat, too, because you can see where somebody has repainted it, and you've got like
We
3 or 4
are-
different colors going on it.
We are approved by the Historical Society, by the preservation people. I'm shocked sometimes. People will watch us take this stuff off, take the paint off. What I'm wanting to do is just like you. I wanted to prove that it works.
Right.
That's all I want to do. But the folks that I'm taking the paint off for take a look at this. Hey, wait a minute. There was green there. Wait a minute. There was yellow there. And now they have the history of that building or of that piece or of that whatever they're doing a story on. They have a history of that product.
Well, speaking of history, Ken, let's take a look at this beautiful Victorian mirror.
Mm-hmm.
This frame is gorgeous on this.
How many times do you find these things and they've just got tons and tons of varnish, lacquer,
Right.
polyurethane?
Right.
This product not only just works on paint, it works on polyurethanes, it works on epoxies, it works on just about any type of coating that you want to take off.
Wow.
Again, when you're ready to take it off, break it loose. And the bulk of our varnish,
Oh, so much nicer.
a little more contained than what you would normally do.
Beautiful.
You can even see the wood grain from the varnish.
Wow.
Now-
Ken, you have shown me wood here, but what about other surfaces? You said it works on other surfaces.
Yes, ma'am. Sure
I mean,
does.
can we do this on metal? Can we do this on...
Sure does. We can use metal. We can, what is a really hard finish, and we do this in the industrial arena, is baked on enamels, epoxies,
Okay.
urethanes. Whoops,
Peel
excuse
this
me.
off real quick and prove a point to me here,
I
Ken,
can
one
do
last
that.
time.
That's a baked on
Beautiful.
epoxy.
Beautiful. Absolutely wonderful. Ken, you have truly made me a
Thank you.
believer in this product.